How's everyone doing? Welcome to another day. I hope we caught the bull flag yesterday. I did. Very nice, easy flag. Tesla's been setting up for since Friday. If you go to you guys should follow me on Twitter or Instagram or both. This is what it looked like on, let's go to it real quick. So on Friday, this is what it looked like. This was a really nice play. I mean, this is the chart on Friday. This was a little flag pattern, little retest, right? Previous rejection into support, break and retest, flag. This was Friday. I was very tempted to open stuff on Friday. I did not. I just wanted a little bit more confirmation. Just was a little bit, just a little bit careful, playing it a little safe. Maybe should have got a little aggressive here just because of how good the setup was, but I didn't open Friday. I opened yesterday and I held almost all day, and I actually held some into today as well. So yeah, I mean, when I see something like this, I got to take the shot. I mean, you just got to take the shot. I mean, how else could you not? So really nice. And then this morning I posted this. I mean, you guys hear all those, those TikToks where they're like, they're doing all this nonsense with their fingers and they're charting out the thing like it's a textbook, the chart formations. If there was ever a time to look at those, it's on the actual charts. And this is the one in many few times where I've seen one of the cleanest cup and handle formations I have ever seen. And it's on Tesla right here. This is like the cleanest cup and handle formation, and the cup and handle usually leads to a very large breakout on the end side of it. So that looks like it wants a lot more to me. So this is the 4-hour chart. Cup, handle, boom. That's pretty clean. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but that is some clean stuff. Feel free to follow me on Twitter, guys. I post a lot there. Here's my trade yesterday. Little flag breakout on the 5-minute. Was up at this point about 1,200. I ended the day up about 1,500. So, yeah. Desi trade. Desi_trade if you want to follow me there. Anyways. So, today we are going to... nice to have you back, Brian. Welcome back. So today we have the NASDAQ moving to the upside and about flat in the pre-market, but we had it move to the upside yesterday. We broke over that very key April level, right? We were watching that 13, if I can remember this off the top of my head, 13,583 I think was the level. We broke above it, we held above it, we closed above it. So the NASDAQ has engulfed all of late April's, early May's price action, right? So very, very important that we are above that level. We're not quite to the 200 SMA, and the ES has not yet pushed over that 4,300. So we did tap 4,300, 4303.50, which is that April rejection point, which the NASDAQ did get over. The ES did not get over, and the ES is also very close to the 200 SMA. So there is still a potential rejection looming. We're not just in the clear. We're not just going straight up. Next, you have a very obvious decline in volume over the last 4 to 5 days here on the NASDAQ and the ES, guys. So is there less participation in the rally as it continues? That's natural and that's normal. I think less and less, no one's going to continue to just jump. There's not going to be the same amount of people jumping at this upside as there was, maybe 10% lower. So let's focus on the volume. The volume is declining on the NASDAQ and ES. That doesn't just mean that we're going to pull back and crash, but you need to pay attention to that. So there's definitely an obvious volume decline on the NASDAQ, on the ES. There will be a volume decline as less and less people want to get involved in this as it continues higher. So yeah, we can still move higher on low volume. That's totally possible, but we'll have to we'll definitely want to pay attention to that. We don't want to just ignore it. So let's get started. Let's pull up the schedule for today. We got the earnings and economic calendar. We'll start with that, and of course the futures. So today, I don't think we have too much on the economic side of things. We have building permits, housing starts, some of industrial production index, capacity utilization rate. So I'm not really too concerned about this. Tomorrow we have retail sales. This will be very important. And we have the FOMC minutes, which is very important. So I know 05 Kid Robinson after I made a lot. Well, I would, Dad G, I would recommend staying away from margin. There's no reason to trade on margin. Thursday, initial jobless claims, continuing jobless claims on Thursday. Nothing crazy. Some Fed presidents. So really, it's tomorrow, guys. Retail sales and FOMC minutes. That's the big one. Okay. This morning we had Walmart report earnings. We also had Home Depot report earnings, and we saw some continuation on stocks that are in that same sector. So we have Target up in the pre-market. We have Costco up in the pre-market. So you have some of those retailers getting hot. I think Home Depot actually is lower on earnings. It's about flat, and Lowe's is sort of flat as well. But Walmart, very nice. You can see right there. Target, very nice. Target's going for that gap fill. That's going to be very nice there. And then Costco with a nice push this morning. So definitely should have your eyes on the retail names this morning. All right. Tesla cup and handle. We'll look at that again. I just sort of gave you a little insight into it, but we'll look at it again. Target, Walmart, XLP. XLP is consumer staples. Let's watch that. That's the consumer staples sector, which is, I think, gaining some traction here. NVIDIA, really nice push end of day yesterday on NVIDIA. Definitely want to watch this. We have a gap on the Microsoft daily chart, which could be filled today. Costco, 4-hour flag, which looks very strong. Costco is definitely a major watch for me here. Google is a stock that I'd be a little bit careful of to the upside. It definitely showed some rejections on the upside. And then Netflix is still stuck below that gap fill. And we saw energy bounce back pretty aggressively, actually. So energy had a pretty ugly slip pre-market into part of yesterday. And it bounced back pretty aggressively. So we'll look at that as well. You're holding Target from yesterday? Yeah, nice. Yeah, I got into some Target trades yesterday, and I just took my profits. I didn't have interest in holding through earnings for Walmart. As you know, maybe as easy as it may seem that, Walmart might have done good. In hindsight, of course, it's like, oh man, I wish I held it. But I'm just not in the boat of wanting to do that. It's just, I don't need to. It's just not necessary. I don't need to take these risks in my portfolio. It's just not necessary. All right, let's get started. Futures, NASDAQ. Let's go daily chart. Let's go 200 SMA as well. Let's go daily SMA. Daily SMA, let's throw the 200 on. Let's apply that. What the hell is that? That is not what I want. That's the 9 EMA. It's actually nice. The 9 EMA is holding this up pretty nicely, actually, on the daily. All right, that's what we want. Okay, there it is. All right, so here's the NASDAQ, guys. And yesterday, we were looking for it to break above 13,583. That is the high, of this consolidation period. Right here between April 25th and May 5th, that was the high of that area. Now you can see yesterday, we got above that level, right? We got above that level, 13,583, above that previous rejection area. So that's good. Now we need to hold above that. We need to see this level turn into support. I think that's very important to see the 13,583 turn into support on any pullback today. In my opinion here, if we hold this 13,583, I think you are probably moving towards the 200 SMA. That would be my assumption. You're probably going to see more upside here. There's not much rejection in this area. There's a sort of a chop fest area here. And I think the next key level probably comes in, I want to say, anywhere around 13,850 to around 13,950, 14,000. I mean, to me, it's all in that general area. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to just be like, okay, it's right here. I would say anywhere between 13,880, 13,950, 14,000, all in this general zone would be the area that I would be watching. Guess he overslept. Are you guys looking at this? Are we all here? Is everything looking all right here? It seems so. I mean, everything on my end looks good. Maybe it shows me I'm sleeping on the screen right now, but hopefully everything looks good. Let me know if you can see me. I'll just continue. So, 13,583, that's very nice. And we need to hold above that. So, right here, 13,583. You guys can see it. Look at how clean this little rejection was here, actually. I didn't even realize that. See this 13,583, guys? That was that previous April level. And you can see, boom, 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 and look at the push above it. So, my idea today, my mindset today is as long as the NASDAQ is above 13,583, you have to continue to be bullish. I believe. I don't, you might be able to trade some intraday downside here, of course. There's a little bit of intraday downside here, maybe 0.6%. Maybe you can catch some stuff on a scalp, but if we're above 13,583, I do not want to get too aggressive to the downside because this could very easily bounce again. This is a previous double top rejection. This is the previous April high rejection point. And if the market turns that into support, it is going to be a very stubborn level to play downside through. So maybe some intraday downside there if we get a test of that 13,583, which is about 100 points lower. But I would be more on the side of trusting this short-term uptrend, which has been extremely strong. And if anything, I would be more looking for what washes out here, and does this start to hold, and can I get another push? That would sort of be more of my interest because of the short-term trend on this market. To the upside, 13.7. You're really just watching the psychologicals. In my opinion, guys, I think the target is the 200 SMA. I don't think you're going to get much rejection here. If this rally just sort of stays irrational to some extent, then I think you're going to see maybe 13,740, which is this previous high and low. If I zoom in over here, you guys can see right here, this previous low and this rejection point high. I would maybe keep an eye on that right there. I'll go ahead and drag that over. Right in here, 13,750, right in that general zone. Watch that. If you get over that, I mean, I think you're heading to that 200 SMA, around 14,000. So, keys today for the NASDAQ. You have to hold 13,583. If you lose that, it's over. You can't lose that. That is a previous rejection point right here, and that is the previous little double top that you saw intraday on Thursday and on Friday of last week. You need to see us hold that level, right? You have to turn the previous rejections here into support. If we come back, if we turn it into support, I would look for more upside. If we come back and we don't hold it, then I would look for downside. I would not be bullish intraday if we break 13,583. Okay? Because that's a big level that needs to hold above. NASDAQ, that's the NASDAQ. ES. So where did the ES fail yesterday? The ES failed right at the mid-April rejection point. That is right here, 43.0350. 43.0350. 43.0350. Right here. That is the high of this consolidation, right? So where did the ES fail? if we go to the 1 minute chart, or let's go 5 minute. If we look at where it failed yesterday, look at this, right? You guys can see just a perfect example of a push into that supply and a little bit of weakness as it hits that. You got a big candle around 5 minutes before close, or 10 minutes before close on the downside. Big rejection candle with volume, so you can definitely tell there was a big seller there, and it just sort of got pushed down. You can see we're sort of consolidating, and we have not given up much of this move. So this is still, I think, considered bullish to me. I mean, it's a pretty decent consolidation. You know, in a weak market on a rejection like this, we would see like a total give up of the whole move. So this is not scaring me in any sense that there's a rejection here. I would look to see if this can consolidate, if we can continue to hold these lows that we've made here in the pre-market. Let's just say around 42.85. Let's just sort of mark out 42.87. If we can continue to hold these lows intraday, then I would expect there to be a push back into this level, right? If we break that level, I would expect us to go to the 200 SMA. The 200 SMA is sitting at 43.23. If you break 43.0350 today, if you break yesterday's highs, I don't see why the ES does not push towards the 200 SMA. There's nothing there. So that would be my target, guys. If the ES breaks over yesterday's highs, I would look for 43.23. That is right here. It's right above us. Right? You guys can see the red lines here. Right? So that's what I'd watch. And you can also see, now that I'm actually looking at this, this is before, okay, this is actually, yeah, it's right in this. It seems like the ES is sort of floating around this previous high, 42.80, which actually could be a nice little retest level there. Look at that. Previous rejection. Does this sort of hold as support here? If the ES stays above 42.82 here, 42.83, then I would expect the push into the 43.03. This move looks still pretty strong here. So 43.0350, the high here of yesterday's high, and then the lows of around 42.83, the previous rejection points. That's what I would want to see. If you break here, you're probably going to see some weakness, guys, right? If you break this shelf, you're probably going to see some weakness. All right, that's the ES. The Dow is actually, oh, look at that. Look what we have here. The Dow is turning the 200 SMA as support right there. Look at that. That's interesting. I didn't realize that today yet. So look, see that red line? That is the 200 SMA on the daily chart. The Dow is actually turning that into support, which is pretty interesting. You can see right here. So Dow 200 SMA support right now. Excuse me. I would expect it to move. If it holds that 200 SMA, I would expect it to move up to these highs. These little triple top rejection highs. That's around 34,000, 34,015. So for the Dow, pretty easy, guys. If you hold 200 SMA, I think you're moving to 34,000. If you break the 200 SMA, which you're holding on the shorter term time frames, then I would look for a pullback here, 33.7s, right in that general area. So that's your range today. You got the 200 SMA. You want to see that hold support on the Dow. You got your 34,000 push, or you got your pullback to around 33.7. That's the range I would watch. Russell. The Russell is above the 200 SMA now on the daily chart. We were looking at it to reject yesterday. It did not reject. The Russell is not rejecting the 200 SMA. The Russell continues to show some pretty crazy strength here. Actually, let me go to the daily chart. Yeah, the Russell's sort of in a chop fest right now between, let's just call it 1940 and maybe 2100. I mean, this just looks like a total chop fest. See all this? So, yeah, I'm not too interested in the Russell between this area. You can see back in, this is all January. This is the beginning of the year right here, January. So basically all of this year until April is just a total chop fest. And you can see we're basically right in the middle of it. So best of luck to you small cap traders. I have no idea, and I really have no interest. So we'll review this once again. NASDAQ, 13,750 would be my first watch, and then 13,950, 200 SMA, and you have to hold 13,583. On the ES, you got to get over the 4303.50. If you get above that, then 200 SMA to the upside. All right? That's the futures. If you want to get those levels every day for free, Discord chat down below. It says free technicals. That is only technical analysis. If you want to trade live with me, it says trade live with me. All right. So Tesla, cup and handle, pretty nice one too. I don't really trade. I mean, to me, like, I wasn't taking this because of a cup and handle. I was more just like, okay, this is a break and retest. There's a flag pattern here. I guess there's just a bunch of technical formations are everywhere, guys, right? It's not like, oh, this is this and this is 100% a setup that's going to work 100%. It only works to a certain extent, but you can see the cup and the handle, which is pretty clean here today. Bear or bull flag, break and retest. I mean, everything's set up here on Tesla really nicely. Previous rejection into support, flag, you broke the flag, you pushed to the upside. The one thing that you got to watch today, guys, is 940 to 950. 940 to 950, or I'm sorry, 940 to 960 is not going to be a very easy level to break above. So that is the one thing that I would be very careful of. I would not get too aggressive into the 940 to 960 level. If you're holding something, then maybe you have a little bit more, leeway, a little bit more space to just sort of hold on. I'm in a Tesla call from, I think I was in around the low 900s. So, yeah, I think it was around the low 900s. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sitting at a really good entry. That's why I was willing to hold today. And you can see I'm willing to try to see if Tesla wants to get through there. For sure. But I'm not going to open new positions as we hit into the supply unless this thing just looks insanely strong. So 940 to 960, that is where I'd be careful. I have the 920 call, so I'm in the money on Tesla. I bought them when they were out of the money. Now they're in the money. So that's what I would watch today, guys. If you can get over this little area of rejections, then I think you're going to 1,000. All right? I think you see 1,000. 1,000's right here. I mean, if you break this 960 level, I don't see why Tesla would stop in this chop fest. If you break 960, I think you go to 1,000. So crazy. But yeah, nice formation, nice flag, nice push through the flag, nice break and retest, cup and handle. You got to get through 940, 960. If you get through that, then I think you see 1,000. Okay? Very nice. Really clean setup on Tesla. That's what you look for every day. Just really clean. All right, Walmart. So Walmart, you got your push up on the 4-hour. You can see here in the pre-market, you got your push into this 200 SMA, which is right there. But what I was sort of focusing on here on Walmart was actually this level, this 137.44, which is the high of this candle right here, which we are actually above right now. So 137.44. And then after that, you have a gap until around 146. So you have your gap there between 137.44 and 146, which you are currently trading in right here, right? You are in between this gap. This is the gap on the daily chart. So I would look to see, can Walmart retain the 137.44, that previous candle high, and can it break over the 200 SMA? If I go to the 15-minute chart, here it is, guys. Here's your gap. So you are currently trading in a gap on Walmart. There's your 200 SMA right above. You need to see it hold around this 137 level. If it does something like this, then I would look for the continuation. But you got to hold that 137. Why do I say that? Let me review it. If I go back to the daily chart, there is a candle here. You can see right here, this candle high is 137.44. The exact high of this candle is 137.44. So I would want to see it hold around the highs of this candle. Turn it into support over here. All right? The reason you can't see this on the chart right now is because the daily chart's not showing after hours. That's why you can't see that. But on the 4-hour, you can see it pushed higher. So Target, I'm sorry, Walmart, that's what I would watch. 137s, I want to see that hold as support for another push to the upside. Target, I think Target's probably on its way. Congratulations, guys, if you're already in this. This looks like a pretty nice gap fill in the making, potentially. It could fail, and I think if it does fail, it's probably going to fail right around this 183.50. That would be my first level to watch, guys. You can see right here, previous lows on Target, and I would look for 183 as we start to approach it to turn into maybe the first potential rejection point. If we get through that, then I think you probably got your gap fill. So 183.50 is the first level I'd watch on Target. Congratulations, guys, in the chat. I know some of us are in this play. This has been something we've been watching for a while now. So it looks like it's starting to work. And, where did it start to show its signs of working, right? And this comes back to the break and retest. Where did it start to show the signs of this play potentially working? That was when this previous rejection point turned into support. Very easy. I mean, previous rejections into support, and it was right here where you start to see the flip between rejection points into support, right? And then there's your continuation off of it. So that's really nice there on Target. XLP, if we go to the daily chart, you guys can see the XLP is sort of, it's moving higher. It's sort of back in this previous gap. This is where we gapped down. Actually, it's above it now that I look at it. It gapped down from around 77. There's a little area here around 75. So this right here, guys, this big gap down, this is that Walmart, that Target guide down back in May. If you remember that big day for that retail destruction, that's right here. XLP has recovered that move. So that's pretty good for XLP. Above 75.70 is pretty important. And then 77 up here is important as well. So you're sort of in this little gap here. But XLP, I would definitely watch this for continuation. I would watch the retailers today. If the XLP stays hot today, I would watch Costco. I would watch Walmart. I would watch Target. You can even watch Dollar General, BJ's, all those retailers. I would keep an eye on them if they get hot today, because they definitely look pretty hot this morning. Okay. NVIDIA. Let's go to the 4-hour on NVIDIA. Actually, let me see something real quick, sir. Let me zoom out here. Okay. All right. So first of all, I just want to make a bold statement here because I still can't believe this. NVIDIA is still down 45% from its highs. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And if you aren't buying NVIDIA shares right now, I mean, what are you waiting for? It's just, how could you not want to buy NVIDIA? The company that arguably has the brightest future out of anyone, with the future, where our future is going. It's just an absolute steal. I mean, I bought like $500 worth yesterday, and I'll probably continue to buy $500 worth every week. I'm just going to continue to buy the crap out of NVIDIA stock. This is crazy. Down 50%. It's back into like 2020 levels. It's only up. I mean, let's just take, for example, it's up. Yeah, I mean, it's up pretty aggressively from these lows. If you think we come back to COVID lows, then sure, then don't buy it. But I think NVIDIA is worth more than what it was at the COVID lows. So I think NVIDIA down 50% is because it'll go down again, and keep buying it. Buy it as it goes down. What if it doesn't? What if NVIDIA goes here? That's probably what a lot of people said about Apple too, right? What if you didn't buy Apple? Now you have to buy it only down 5%. Anyways, NVIDIA, that's the first statement I'll make. I think this is a great opportunity on a stock that will have a pretty bright future, in my opinion. We all know that chips are going to be pretty hot. When obviously you're going to have to wait through the supply chain issues, but when the supply chain issues end, I think NVIDIA, AMD, those stocks are going to have pretty aggressive comebacks. However, 193 would be the first level to watch, and then 198 would be my next level to watch. 193 is right here. You guys can see right here, 193. That would be the first high to watch, and then after that, 198. Right? 193, 198. Those are my two levels to watch on NVIDIA today, guys. However, I think the better opportunity and the more, safer opportunity and just a better opportunity for your future is to start looking at some of these companies and start dipping your toes into some shares. AMD, NVIDIA, both down 40% from their highs. Why is AMD and NVIDIA not a good opportunity to buy? Keep an eye on those. Microsoft. So if we go to the daily chart on Microsoft, you guys can see we are sitting at the 200 SMA. So watch out for that. That is the first thing I would monitor today. We might reject that level. If we do not reject that level, which is around 294, then look for this little daily chart gap here. There's a little daily chart gap right between 293 and 296. You can see it right here. If you get above that, if you start to push above the 200, you might sort of push into that 296 level. You might get through this gap, right? So watch out for that. 293, 296, 200 SMA. You're sort of approaching some rejection points here on Microsoft, which could be a little bit tough to play through. I would probably want to be, I think there's better opportunities to the upside here today. This looks like pretty heavy action. If you can get above the 200, then you might be able to get to that 296 gap fill level. That's what I would watch for. So Microsoft heading into a gap. Costco. Costco is definitely a stock I am watching today. This is definitely a play I'm watching. This is probably one of my top watches. Costco was extremely strong yesterday. It's extremely strong this morning off of Walmart news. And it also, if you go to the 4-hour chart, is breaking a really, really nice little 4-hour flag. So you can see previous high into a support, into a support, into a support, right? Previous rejection into a triple bottom support. 4-hour flag, you push above the flag. Previous highs of 552.71, 552.71. You are above that level right now. If you can turn 552.71 into support, then I am all for this pushing until around 565, right up into these next highs. So I think this looks really good. I would definitely watch Costco today with the XLP strength or with any kind of retail strength. 552.71 is the previous highs. Look for that to hold. If that does, I think you got pretty clear air to 565 here. So definitely watching Costco. Google. I think Google is a little bit stuck. This would definitely be one I wouldn't play to the upside today, guys. I wanted to point it out, though, because it is a possible rejection point. You guys can see right here, rejection, rejection, and you already see it starting to show some weakness. Relative weakness this morning on Google versus other names. So definitely a pretty tough area on Google, 123 to 123.50. And keep an eye on that because you can see rejection, rejection, and another possible rejection. So watch out for Google. Rejections around 123.50, 123. Netflix. Netflix is still stuck. Netflix is still stuck under the gap fill level. So if I go to the daily chart and I go to where this, look at these gaps. They're crazy. If I go to right here, you guys can see 248.70. You can see this rejection here. You can see the rejection here, and then you can start to see the struggle that this stock is having at that exact same level. So I don't think Netflix is ready yet. I think it's still sort of stuck. I don't think it's ready to sort of trade to the upside here through the gap. You can see on the daily, look at these candles. I have to really zoom this chart out. Look at these candles. So 248.70, 250, that would be where I'm watching on Netflix, but it just does not seem ready yet, guys. I would wait for this to be blatantly obvious. Once it's obvious, there's going to be a very nice move, probably into this gap. So let's wait for it to be pretty obvious. 250s, 255s, I would like to see it start pushing through that. And then you have that gap fill level on Netflix. Definitely something to keep eyes on. Okay, let's quickly look at the /CL and energy. So you guys can see energy did have a pretty aggressive drop yesterday. And it came back really strong. So here was yesterday morning. We had a really aggressive pre-market drop, and it's right back to where it started. So here's the 15-minute. You can see here's your pre-market drop. At open, you bounced, you held it, and now in the pre-market today, you're holding up again pretty aggressively. So it looks like energy is trying to go right back for that 78 level. Really nice little hold here at 75. Look at that. So very nice hold around this 75. That's a nice, previous rejection into support here. I would look for it to push into the 78, 50, 79. Can it do that? Can it break this level? If it breaks this level, that is the highest energy has been since June 16th. So almost 2 months. So if energy breaks this high here, maybe does a little retest, this could be a pretty nice push on energy. Nice little consolidation, right? You can see the accumulation here. Nice consolidation, holding up, holding key levels, holding the 200 SMA. You guys look at the 200 SMA on the daily chart, right? Look how many times it's held this in the past. You can see 200 SMA here, 200 SMA here, 200 SMA here. So really nice 200 SMA bounce once again. This looks to me like it's going to push again, right? This just looks like a nice 200 SMA pullback like it's done every other time. Pullback, 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 200 SMA. Obviously, energy has a lot of macroeconomic events, so I can't be too confident on it by technical analysis, right? So, it is what it is. You can't trade energy based off technicals. That's why I don't really trade my analysis here on the energy sector. I don't really open energy sector stocks because I don't pay attention to the macroeconomics of it. I don't care that I don't. You don't have to know everything in the market. Be a master of one, not a jack of all trades. I am not interested in learning about how energy, I'll watch it as it affects the overall market, but I'm not going to learn it as much to really trade energy stocks in and out, anticipating meetings, etc., etc. It's not really something that I need to cloud my head with. So that's how I look at it. You might disagree, but for me, I watch energy. I see how it affects the market. I get a good understanding of what it's doing, but I'm not going to become the energy master, right? And start to trade the energy stocks. It's just not really something I'm interested in. So that's energy. Let's go shop, because I saw someone wanted to see shop, and I want to see shop as well. Shop held 40 yesterday, I believe. Yes, it did once again. So Shopify, I think, just really needs to hold 40 here, guys. That's my key. That's my goal, is to see Shopify retain 40. If Shopify can retain 40, then I think you are sort of working yourself out of this lower bound channel. You can see the channel between 40 and 30. You just really want to see Shop hold 40. That would be very key. If it does hold 40, you're looking at around 43. 43 would be the upside rejection. So 40 to 43 is the zone that I want to see Shopify trade in. Ideally, I don't want to see it drop back below 40 for my swings or for my leaps and also for my shares. All right, so let's quickly jump over to what you guys want to look at. If you filled out the live stream ticker here, we got one person, Meta downside. If you guys have access to this, then make sure to fill it out. We have, if you guys could take 1 second, press the like button. Let's quickly look at Meta. Did we do Apple? No. But I will push into Apple's not really a tradable chart anymore. It's gone. It's all gone. It's at the highs. But I'll look at Apple. Meta, very clear rejection, guys. I mean, the downside's possibly there, but you gotta wait for the market. You can't just get aggressive on Meta downside if the Nasdaq's going higher. So when you see signs of the Nasdaq taking a hit, if you start seeing the Nasdaq fail, then you look for this. But you got to be patient, right, guys? I'm sure you've seen that. I'm sure you have seen that quote. Trading is 90% patience and 10% execution. I know you've seen that before, and this is the exact example of that. Facebook looks good for a rejection. Facebook does not have any reason for you to be getting in yet, right? You're not missing anything. It's still there. Trust me, it's still there. It's not going anywhere. It's not gonna leave without you. If the Nasdaq starts to slip, if we start to get hit, if we start to fail, if we start to break down levels, if we get really aggressive to the downside, it'll be obvious, right? And when that starts to happen, then you start to formulate your downside plan on Meta. But if the Nasdaq's going higher, if we're getting into the 200 SMA, you're not trading downside on Meta here. It's just not. It's not going to happen. So wait for the market to sort of break down, right? And this is a great example of 90% patience, 10% execution, because it's there. Trust me, I see it, but it's just not ready, right? It's not. You don't want to get stuck in chop. You don't want this to consolidate on you and you just get your contracts destroyed. That's not what you want to do. AbbVie, next one, daily chart. Yeah, AbbVie is holding this demand. So it's up to you if you want to trade the demand or not, right? Do you trust the demand? Do you want to play the upside? Do you think the healthcare sector bounces? XLV did have a nice day yesterday. You can see right here, very nice XLV push. And AbbVie is another nice push potentially off this demand. So just watch out for the 200 SMA and look to see if healthcare can continue higher. That's what I would look for. Let's go Apple. What is this PARA stock that everyone's talking about? Oh, it's Paramount. Okay. Yeah, that's that. I think Buffett bought some of it or something. I don't know. Good luck. Qualcomm. Actually, no, let's go Apple. So Apple, I'm watching a few levels on Apple here. 176. 176. 179. And then the all-time highs, right? I mean, I don't think there's a trade here, guys, to be quite honest, unless you just want to continue to chase upside on a daily basis. I don't know. I wouldn't trade Apple here. It's like, are you just going to keep chasing this upside? I mean, you can, you might, I mean, you could make money, right? But this is not a setup to me, right? There's no setup here. This is just straight up. So, like Tesla, that's a setup, right? That's a flag, that's a retest, that's a setup. That's an actual setup with the clean risk reward, with an actual trade. Apple is just, I'm just going to buy Apple because it's still going higher, right? That's not something I would sort of get accustomed to following or chasing. You should be owning Apple. You should have owned it down here. You should have been buying it this whole way. You just keep buying Apple, forget about it, and retire in 50 years, guys. That's all you do. Just buy Apple. It's got the most cash out of any company in the world, I think. Pretty close, if not number one. And it is not going anywhere. So, own it. This is the one thing I will always agree with Kramer. Apple, own it, don't trade it. I will agree with Kramer on that sense. Pepsi, yeah, that's a very clean break on Pepsi. Wow. That's a very clean break on Pepsi. Pepsi's a beast, huh? That stock just is a beast. I remember it being a beast all through the downside. Just what a beast of a stock. Damn. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, you wait for the retest, right? Look for the retest, look for the break. Right? Retest, boom. Retest, and try to look for the push. That's what I'd look for. Qualcomm, that's a nice little retest on Qualcomm building right here. Look at that. So you got little lows here around this level. I mean, you got the previous highs that are sort of holding now. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty decent looking area that it's holding as support now. Look. So you got previous rejections, rejection into a triple bottom support. That looks pretty good to me. Rejection, triple bottom support. Yeah, I would look for, if the market continues, I would try to play it off this support. Just only watch out for the 200 SMA. All right, last but not least, we got Square. This is another stock, 90% patience, 10% execution. You got to wait for the market to reject here. If the market rejects, then I would play Square to the downside. If the market does not reject, then you're going to get absolutely demolished in a chop fest here. I would not be holding Square here. I would wait for it to either break down with the market, or if you really want to play the upside, which I wouldn't be interested in, but you would look for a little break and retest here of 90. So I would wait for the market to slip. If it does, then I look for the downside. All right, guys, that's all I got. I hope you have a fantastic day. If you could press that like button before you head out, that would be fantastic. We're getting to like 1,400 people here a day, which is pretty incredible. That's a new record for us. So thank you guys so much for the support. I'm not sure what caused the increase, but maybe just grinding every day. Hopefully, over time it builds up and builds up. And thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the support. Press the like button before you head out. If you want to get free analysis on charts, that's the futures charts, the NQ and the ES. Make sure to check it out down below. It says free technicals. If you upgrade in that room for $5 a month, you get my analysis on individual stocks every single morning and end of day recaps. My closet's open. Oh, freaky. Maybe someone's in there. And then if you want to trade live with me every day, down below it says live trading. Well, trade live with me. If you're going to join and you're going to cause problems because it's on voice chat, I don't know how to join, you're not posting this link, you're not posting this, I can't follow you there, I'm not getting the exact trade as you, don't join, please. I don't have the time for it. This is not a signal service. This is not I need to follow exactly what he's doing and he's joking and he's not doing this right. I post my trades. I live trade every single morning. I'm talking to you every single day. I do everything I can to share with you what I'm doing on a daily basis. I'm there every day. I've gotten a few people over the last few days calling my Discord a scam, which I have no idea how that's possible. And I've happily refunded their money and I have removed them from the chat. So this is a educational group, very professional. It's not a signal service. If you're going to join to try to copy my trades verbatim, please do not join. Okay? Learn from us. Educate yourself. That's what's important. Education. All right? That's my rant for the day. I'm sure you were waiting for it. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.